Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Tonight on Coyote News, a story that crosses borders.
And how a new scholarship could help more USD students. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Good evening, I'm Sydney Funderman.
And I'm Philip Larson.
We'll hear those stories and more, but first. The State House is endorsing a bill to change the requirements for the only state-sponsored needs-based scholarship. The bill lowers the GPA requirement for the Freedom Scholarship from 2.5 to 2.0. It also clarifies language about enrollment in the scholarship and requirements for the scholarship board. Republican Representative Will Mortensen carried the bill on the House floor. He says the GPA requirement encourages students not to drop out should they have a bad semester.
The key for the state, the most important thing for the kid, is finishing this up and getting the degree. And so we pegged it to maintaining a sufficient grade point average so they can get that degree and not alone.
Supporters of the bill say a student's GPA slips below the 2.5 threshold for a number of reasons. They say lowering the requirement protects students in need from taking on more debt. Opponents of the bill argue lowering the GPA requirement promotes mediocrity to students. They say a higher requirement for the scholarship would push students to work harder. Senate Bill 154 passed out of the House with a vote of 40 to 25. It now goes to the governor's desk to be signed into law.
A resolution establishing Young Republicans Day passed out of the State House. House Concurrent Resolution 60-11 passed with a unanimous vote. The resolution was then tabled by the Senate today. This means the Senate has the option to take it off the table at a later date and vote on it then. The resolution designated August 31st for the new state holiday. This would commemorate the oldest political organization for youth in the country. The Democratic Party in the legislature has no plans for a similar resolution. Even though House Democrats voted for the resolution, House Minority Leader Jamie Smith says the legislature isn't the place to be promoting partisan groups.
While South Dakota may seem far from Ukraine, as Coyote News' Marissa Brunkhorst reports, the fight in Kyiv hits home for one USD student.
As Russia continues to invade Ukraine in the capital city of Kiev, Americans watch from across the pond from their homes. USD Ukrainian physics student Oleksandr Lukina, however, is balancing a life abroad, but also as a Ukrainian.
Right now, I live a double life because I am here physically and in Ukraine in terms of information. And it's very difficult to live in this contrast because my family right now is in the basement, and now I'm here and I can hang out with my friends and have fun. And it's hard to be separated from them, so I'm worried about my family.
Lukina shared concerns for her country, but also gratitude for the outpouring support of her American peers.
Firstly, I would like to thank the American nation and American government for support for Ukraine, because they're doing a lot of things, and I hope they will continue doing this. And I will also very glad to see USD students who support me personally and ask about my family. And I see that people they care about Ukraine and about me, and it's very pleasant to hear.
USD's Department of Political Science and International Studies hosted a talk with fellow professors about Ukraine and what the war means for America. The South Dakota Senate passed Senate Resolution 702, which states that the Senate stands with the people of Ukraine during a desperate time and strongly urges the United States government to utilize all political, diplomatic, and military means to support the people of Ukraine. Lukina shared some of her favorite cultural elements of her country.
My favorite meaning, Ukraine uses Cyrillic alphabet, and in Cyrillic alphabet there are 4 letters hidden here, V, O, L, Ya, and in Ukrainian, voля means freedom. So the symbol means freedom.
Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Marissa Brunkhorst.
Yesterday's USD panel discussion on the Ukrainian conflict is available on the Political Science Department's Facebook page.
Coming up, a new club shows off their dancing shoes.
Plus, how USD is celebrating Women's History Month. This is Coyote News.
This is Coyote News.
The Student Government Association is a great way for students to actually impact on what happens to campus or make a meaningful change through legislation and SGA.
This is Coyote News.
This semester, a group of students created the USD Swing Dance Club to bring students together, learn new dances, and create a fun community. The Swing Dance Club meets in the Wellness Center bi-weekly on Wednesday nights at 8. The group teaches and practices country-style swing and line dancing. Club members say they were inspired to start their own club after going to area dances. Hosting dances once a month, the club hopes to gather a larger crowd for each event. Students interested in the Swing Dance Club can find updates on upcoming dances and meetings on Instagram at USD_Swing Dance Club.
COVID-19 on campus has taken a drastic drop in numbers. Currently, there's only one active student case on campus with 0 cases in any other demographic, including faculty. This is a stark comparison, as last year this time, numbers surged following last year's spring break.
The Senate State Affairs Committee rejected a bill requiring the display of the state seal or motto in all public schools. House Bill 1198 mandated schools to display the state seal or motto in a prominent location such as the cafeteria or entryway to the school. The bill included size requirements for the display and how the schools can go about creating it. This included student design competitions or plaques that are easily legible. Proponents of the bill say displaying the seal or motto is about educating students about the state's history. They also say it's about instilling state pride in the students. Opponents of the bill argue state history is already in the education standards, which makes the bill redundant. Senator Lee Schoenbeck of Watertown says this bill questions the patriotism of South Dakota schools. The bill was deferred to the 41st legislative day by a unanimous vote.
This month of March marks Women's History Month. Coyote News' Kate Cromer is live in the muck to learn about why and how we should celebrate it. Kate?
Thanks, Phil. I'm here live in the muck with the coordinator of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, Dr. Sarah Lampert. Now, there's been a lot of discourse among students as to why there's a Women's History Month and no Men's History Month. So can you enlighten us to the historical significance of this month and why this is?
Well, Women's History Month actually comes out of second wave feminism and an effort to really center and focus on women as actors in history and to focus on gender-based issues that disproportionately affect women.
So what is the significance of this month and why should students get involved in celebrating it?
Well, our goal is always to highlight women and their involvement in every aspect of our society today and in the past. But one of the things that we do every 2 years at USD is we host the Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies Research Conference, which is an interdisciplinary conference where we focus on a particular theme. So this year we're focusing on the theme care. We thought that would be really nice coming out of COVID. And I think right now with everything going on in the world, thinking about care is really important. We have speakers who are going to focus on feminist approaches to business management, two-spirit identity, and the history of the anti-abortion movement. So all really different topics that think about how asking about women and asking about gender and asking about sexual diversity can highlight larger issues in our society.
Are there any classes offered through your discipline for students who want to get more insight on these issues?
Yeah, we have Women's Studies intro course is offered every single spring, and then we have elective courses. So anyone can take Intro to Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, and many students who've taken the course find that it gives them a set of tools to kind of think critically about gender and sexuality and be really informed on contemporary issues. And then there are a whole range of electives in a lot of different disciplines that focus on women, gender, and sexuality, and you can find those in the catalog by looking up WMST courses.
Dr. Lampert, thank you so much for being here.
Awesome, thank you.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Kate Cromer.
Thanks, Kate. The Summit League kicks off this weekend.
That's right, Phil. We'll hear more of what to expect from the opening games when we come back with your Coyote Sports. Stay with us.
In the United States, approximately 6.3 million animals enter shelters every year. Of those, only 3.2 million will be adopted, and over 920,000 will be euthanized. Help put a stop to animal homelessness, save a life, and rescue your next best friend.
This is Coyote News.
This is Coyote Sports. I'm Michael Stake.
And I'm Hannah Gokenauer. This weekend is a long-awaited Summit League basketball tournament. We'll share details on what to expect, but first.
The Summit League Indoor Track and Field Championships concluded on Saturday, ending with the USD women's team taking home their first indoor title in program history, while the men's team finished runner-up for the weekend. The Coyotes finished on top of the medal count with a combined 32 medals. USD also ended the weekend with the most gold and bronze medals claimed as well. Second-year freshman Sarah Riefenrath was voted Summit League Most Outstanding Performer after accounting for 11% of USD's points en route to their first program indoor title. The Coyotes will wrap up their indoor season in Birmingham, Alabama for the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Tournament held March 11th through the 12th.
The men's basketball team ended their regular season with 18 wins and 11 losses after splitting the weekend. On Thursday, South Dakota took on Kansas City, and the Roos wasted no time, getting ahead early as they scored the first 7 points in the game and held a 22-point lead after 12 minutes of play. The Coyotes started to find their rhythm, but it was too late as they fell to the Roos by the score of 72-63. On Saturday, USD took on Oral Roberts, and early on, the Coyotes had to play catch-up as they trailed by 14 early on, but they were able to cut the deficit down to 1 as they entered halftime. The Coyotes took their first lead of the game around 2 minutes into the second half, and the Coyotes were able to keep the lead the rest of the way, resulting into a 92-87 victory. The Coyotes are the 5th-seeded team in the conference as they will play number 4 Kansas City in the first round of the Summit League tournament on Sunday at 6 in Sioux Falls.
The men's tournament kicks off on Saturday at 6 when number 1 SDSU will play 8th-seeded Omaha. The final game on Saturday will be number 2 NDSU against number 7 Denver. Sunday's first round matchups will be number 4 Kansas City versus number 5 South Dakota, and number 3 Oral Roberts versus Western Illinois will wrap up round 1 of the tournament. All games will be held in the Denny Sanford Arena in Sioux Falls.
The Summit League basketball tournament kicks off this weekend at the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. Coyote Sports' Landon DeBoer is live in the muck with Marcus Destin to find out how students can get involved. Landon?
Thanks, Hannah. I'm here with Marcus Destin of the Coyote Crazies. Have you had any challenges regaining momentum since there was a pause with COVID-19 last year?
Oh, not at all. I think we've hit the ground running. We've been able to, Coyote Crazies have doubled in their retention, and we've doubled in our recruitment during everything going on with COVID. So now we're just trying to get everybody acclimated to what the Denny is, why the Summit League is so important, and why we need bodies in the building.
And how important is it to have Coyote fans at the Premier Center?
Oh, it's crazy. If you were here a couple years ago and you weren't able to witness it, when they scanned over every time to the camera, it was us. It was like us 24/7, 365. We made all the other schools look bad because we had the best student section there. And it makes the differences for the teams when they can hear us supporting it. Coach Don already tweeted out that it makes the difference. They already played when no fans were there. Now they need to play when the house is packed and flipped on its head with Coyote Red.
And what message do you have to Coyote fans ahead of the tournament to kind of get them excited?
Can I borrow this for a second? Listen, excuse me. Listen, paying in on me right here. Listen, I need everybody in the building. I'm trying to flip the Coyote Crazies. We are trying to flip it on its head. We're trying to paint the whole Denny red. If you pay $10, you get on the fan bus. We'll cover your ride there and back. We'll give you food. You're going to have, you know what I mean? You're going to have a whole shindig. We're going to have a party. But stop playing. It's my last Summit League. I'm trying to go out with a shebang. I'm trying to paint the whole Denny red. I'm trying to make every other school look bad and cheer our teams to victory. So stop playing. That little $10 you was going to spend elsewhere, I ain't going to say where. All right? We go spend it here, and we're going to have ourselves a party. I need you there. I need you in red. We got the bibs. We got the signs. We got you covered. I just need bodies in the building. All right? Holla at me. Thank you. This is nice.
And is there any other surprises for Coyote Crazies on the trip?
Oh, you just never know. Well, I ain't even gonna put that out there because you just never know. A bear suit might pop up. I might order another suit. Who knows? Lord knows. You just gotta come though. You know what I mean? If you don't come, you don't know.
Well, thank you for joining us, Marcus. The Summer League basketball tournament will be this weekend. Live in the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Landon DeBoer.
Thanks, Landon. Again, the Summit League kicks off at the Denny Sanford Arena this Saturday. The women's basketball team ended their regular season with 3 wins on the weekend. On Thursday, South Dakota hosted Kansas City, and it didn't take long for the milestone to be broken as Coyote guard Liv Korngable scored her 1,000th point in her career at USD. The Coyotes held the lead from the beginning to the end, winning the game 71-49. Saturday was senior day for the women's basketball team, honoring 4 seniors during the pregame festivities. Liv Korngable, Regan Sankey, Chloe Lamb, and Hannah Shervin. The seniors combined for 42 points en route to a 29-point victory over the Golden Eagles. On Monday, the Coyotes played a makeup game in McCobe versus the Leathernecks. It was originally scheduled for February 19th, but was postponed due to COVID-19 protocols. USD trailed by 1 at halftime, but a strong second half fueled a 75-48 victory. The Coyotes will be the 2 seed in the Summit League tournament after losing the tiebreaker for the 1 seed in SDSU. The Coyotes will face off against number 7 Western Illinois at 3 on Saturday.
The women's tournament will kick off on Saturday at 12:30 with top seed South Dakota State taking on number 8 Omaha. Match 2 on Saturday will be number 2 South Dakota versus number 7 Western Illinois. Sunday's games will be the 4-5 match of Oral Roberts and North Dakota. The 3-6 matchup for Kansas City and North Dakota State will conclude the first round of the women's tournament. All matchups will be played in the Denny Sanford Arena in Sioux Falls.
The softball team for their 3rd straight tournament won 4 of their 5 games, this time in the FIU Softball Invitational in Miami, Florida, putting the Coyotes at 12-3 on the season. The Coyotes got wins against Brown, Florida International, Drexel, and Stony Brook, with their only loss in the Invitational coming in their first game against Stony Brook Seawolves. On Monday, freshmen Clara Edwards and Tatum Velota were named the Summit League Players of the Week after their performances at the FIU Invitational. The team will take a week off and will be back in action at the Memphis tournament starting March 11th, where they'll take on Central Arkansas in the opener.
Up next, we hear what students do during the cold weather. Stay with us.
My favorite thing about the International Club is the different events they hold within the school year.
My particular favorite is definitely Festival of Nations. Peace out.
Except for you.
Wait,
This is Coyote News.
The Vermilion weather this winter has been nothing short of unpredictable. You might wake up needing to shovel or put on some shorts.
In this week's Out and About, we asked students what their favorite thing to do is on a cold, snowy day.
Here's what they had to say.
Stay inside. Watch TV.
I like to sled. I'm a big sledding fan.
Stay inside. Probably watch movies and like drink hot cocoa and stuff. Watch Netflix and cuddle with my dog.
Going out with my friends, making igloos, having snowball fights.
Get some hot chocolate.
I enjoy going snow skiing.
I just make a snowman. Yep. Like it's the first time I've experiencing snow, so I've made that. Yep.
Go to the gym because it's always super warm in there.
I just love sleeping in my bed.
You know, I'm not a very good skier, but I'm trying to get the hang of it. So I'd say skiing.
A good book and a warm mug of tea.
Go snowboarding, for sure, if there's enough snow.
I like to go figure skating. Stay in and watch movies.
I like to not go outside.
I like drinking tea next to the window.
I don't know, take a hot bath.
Be inside, in the warm.
I really like to just sit inside and watch movies and stay as far away from the cold as possible.
Well, Sydney, I'd say because being cold makes up half of our lives, I'm pretty used to just kicking back, having a beer, putting on my favorite movie.
Well, Phil, I like to cuddle up in my nice warm blankets, grab my dog and snuggle. That's what I love to do on a cold, snowy day.
Can't go wrong with that. And while we're here freezing in the Midwest, Percy, a porcupine puppet of prodigious proportions, emerged from her giant stump home for an audience of school children and the media at a Los Angeles park yesterday. The adorable beast inspired oohs and ahs as she blinked her droopy eyes and opened her mouth to show her buck teeth. She stood nearly 2 stories tall with a nose the size of a Volkswagen. Percy was let out to celebrate next week's opening of the zoo's new Wildlife Explorers base camp. 6 months in the planning, the puppet is modeled on the prehensile-tailed porcupine native to South America. It has a circumference of nearly 40 feet and has 2,000 foam quills that took a house worth of paint to put the stripes on. That's it for tonight's Coyote News.
Pick up this week's issue of the Volant to read about how USD is handling the full capacity at Cookhouse.
For sports coverage of this week's Men's and Women's Summit League tournament, listen to 91.1 KAOR FM.
Follow us on our social media pages, including TikTok. This is Coyote News. Have a great night.